she be tricking us.
Floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm going to read. We have two different packets for our bills, so I'm bringing them up. So if you could bear with me just a moment. We have the electronic warrant list, which are items that come as ACH deductions from our bank account, as well as the warrant list of checks that are to be printed upon approval from the board. So the first I will be reading into the record is the electronic payments. I'm sorry, the first I'll read is the warrant list for the bills that will be paid, which is corporate payment registers number 189, which has payments of $891,263.20. Gross payroll for May 7th, $325,950.20. Gross payroll May 21st is $350,251.73. Melanie Fitness Center register for 189 is $3,016.23. Gross payroll for May 7th, $900.11. Gross payroll for May 21st, $918.11, with total corporate payments $1,572,299.58. Next, I'll read into the record the payments for our ACH deductions, which is corporate payment register number 188, with payments, ACH payments of $69,888.61. Water fund payments, $291,794.04. Manual checks of $12,247.82. So total payments, $373,930.47. Is there a motion to approve the corporate bills?
I make a motion that we approve the corporate bills with the exception of some items. Marvelous Media Group for we can pay $1,250. It was an invoice for $4,600. Mario's Backyard Eats, I'm asking to have that removed. And Warren Mohammed, I'm asking to have that removed.
Trustee House, can I piggyback off of Trustee Belcher?
I think we need a second to the motion, and then it goes into discussion, Trustee Brown.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who second? I'm sorry. Okay, here, I got it. So there's a motion on the floor from Trustee Belcher to remove certain items from the warrant list, and it's been seconded by, what's that, Trustee Brown?
Trustee Steve.
No.
Oh, Trustee Steve. Any discussion?
Okay, I have also some items on the warrant list as well. For the Mad Bomber fireworks, what is that for?
That's the fireworks show that we've been speaking of that you guys approved via last board meeting for $5,000 from the village. The park is giving $5,000 as well, so we all agreed to go forward with that.
Okay, this is for $3,000. Are we just paying partial payment and we will pay the rest?
I wouldn't know, Chris. I don't know what invoice they turned in, but I know the Mad Bomber is the fireworks.
Okay, he has it on here for $3,000. That's why I questioned. It's right. $3,000 for Mad Bomber fireworks. $3,000.
What page?
What page? The Bill's Grill, the DJ Experience, A King's Cleaning Facility, and also Ed Steve has a reimbursement for what?
Okay, let's back up. So to follow you, and the board can follow you. What page are you on?
I'm on page 7.
Page 7.
Page 8. And page 9.
So page 7, what's the line item?
For the photography.
Okay.
The $1,474.33. You said the Mad Bombers, it might be the wrong amount, because it says $3,000 here. but we said 5,000. So that's 3,000.
Okay, let me respond to you. So the Mad Bombers, it says fireworks on there. So
yes, it says Mad Bomber fireworks for 3,000 and not the 5,000. So I was asking, is that a partial payment or what?
Okay, I'm trying to respond to you, trustee. So
okay,
the Mad Bombers is on there for $3,000. The board agreed for $5,000. So my assumption to that is it's just a deposit. So they just told me it was just a deposit from us, the village, to do 3,000. Okay. We have to pay the difference of the 2,000.
Okay. Only thing I asked on the warrant list, if they can actually break these things down. Now for the Mario's Backyard Eats, what she said, these are inauguration items, those two, in the A King cleaning facility. Is the village responsible for payment? We got a left promotions.
Let me start one.
Promotions and then a Sunny Black Productions.
Okay. So everybody follow.
We'll take it one page. I'll go back, Mayor.
So the fireworks, I explained that one. And what was the media group? On page 7, the media group?
Yeah.
Okay, which one you said you wanted to remove or you had a question about?
That the photography too for the inauguration photos.
Okay.
Is that Kareem photography for the $1,474?
Is that it? On page 7?
That's under the Marvelous Media, and then you got TKB Associates Incorporated, and then you got that's right under that one.
Yeah, okay.
It's right above the Mad Bomber fireworks.
Okay, so I see the footage. Is that the one you asking me about?
Right. So that one is for, now this is an inauguration item along with 4 other things that are inauguration items.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. The media, the Marvelous Media Group is not an inauguration item. That's actually footage. You see it say Food Patrol videos, stuff we've been doing.
I'm saying the one that says the 1474 is an inauguration item.
Okay. It's
okay.
So that's an inauguration photos. That is for $450. The rest of them was headshots that all the trustees received. And
okay. So on page 6, Sunny Black Productions, a PSA inauguration, and then left promotion. Hold on, left promotions. And I apologize. Let me put them up. I apologize, Mayor. He got spooked. I apologize for that.
Okay.
So you see on page 6, the Sunny Black Productions.
Okay.
And the left, is it Let Promotions LLC?
I can answer about the Sunny Black. Sunny Black, Tammy, is Wally, the one who's been recording this stuff for the last 2 years. He recorded.
Okay. My only question is this, trustee? Is the village responsible for paying for everything for the inauguration?
Yes.
Were we at a dollar amount, set dollar amount, or no?
Okay, so we are responsible for paying for anything at inauguration. The reason being is it was an actual legal board meeting. So anything that we acquire as an expense, we can pay for it. It's legal. I can also have the attorney chime in if you like to give the legal explanation of why the village is at risk of paying for inauguration. Attorney?
Okay, was it not a board vote, or no, it didn't need to be approved, or no?
No, but I'm gonna let her speak to you. So
okay.
So we reviewed the local ordinances and rules, and there is a special event fund that already accommodates these types of events. And because it was a public meeting and it was catered to the public, I understand, I believe one of the invoices was actually the food invoice for the food vendor. This was no different than any other special event that was approved by the village. It was a public board meeting, and that's why it was appropriate. And there's a prior appropriation for these expenses in your budget for the special events, and you had public attendees, and you basically fed the public, and it was conducted in that proper manner. So that's why it would be okay for you to approve the expenditures related to that meeting.
Okay, is there no certain amount, or It's just
within the budget. Just there was no amount for, as far as the total amount for the inauguration. It would just come out of the special committee fund and you spend down until you exhaust the budgeted amount.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So for the attorney,
right.
so
Any other questions?
For the attorney, so what budget is that coming out of?
Okay, okay, 1 second, guys. I don't know. We can't hear. Derek.
Yes.
Man.
Can you hear me?
Okay, whew, yes, we back. Okay, go ahead. Anybody else have questions? Was you done, Trustee Brown?
Trustee Belcher had a question, Mayor.
Mayor, I had a question. So she said it's coming out of the special event budget. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's based on 2022?
We're in budget now, so it will come out of that budget.
In the budget that we don't have yet?
Correct.
That's what I'm asking. Okay. And then she said one other thing. She stated that it was approved, but who was it approved by if it came out the budget?
No, I don't believe the attorney said that it was approved by any.
That's why I was trying to get.
Okay,
it was going in and out, so I wanted to get clarity.
Okay,
she said it didn't need to be approved. It didn't need to be approved because it was coming out the special event fund, so it didn't need approval, board approval.
But I thought over a certain amount it needs board approval.
You can still give board approval. I didn't see anything that required a prior approval when it's already accounted for in your funding.
Okay, I just want to know for clarity.
I couldn't hear you, that last part, Trustee. We keep going in and out with the audio.
She said
I just wanted to make sure for clarity.
Okay.
Just one other question, attorney. So you can go ahead and spend these funds and then approve it later? Is that what you're saying?
You can spend funds and get board ratification. As long as there's appropriation for it and the budget for it, the board can ratify the actions. Just like when you do a poll vote on action items and then you approve it at the next board meeting, it's similar to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mayor. I have a question.
1 moment. We have budgeted for special events $30,000.
All right. Any other questions?
I want to be clear.
Wait 1 second, Trustee Steves. Trustee Norwood, are you done or you got another question?
Yeah, so I take it, well, never mind. I take it that he'll get it to us soon, so that'll be okay.
You have a question? Okay. Go ahead, Trustee Steves.
Question. So this is, from my understanding, anything above $5,000 has to come before the board. But when special events, you're saying that we can spend that money before it's actually approved if it's over $5,000? Is that what the attorney's saying?
She's on.
No, I'm asking, Attorney Welsh, is that what you're saying? That we can spend this money over $5,000 that needs board approval, but we can spend that before we actually approve?
Well, that's what I was saying. If it does it require prior approval under your local ordinance for special events? There was nothing that I saw that required prior approval, but each of these expenses were under the $5,000, and that's why we're bringing it to the board currently to approve those individual expenses. So there wasn't any one expense that was over $5,000, but they're being brought to you collectively for approval, and when you totaled them all up, they're all within the budgeted amount or the amount that was approved and set aside for special event funds.
Okay, because I know last meeting we approved $6,900 payment, but that was spent before we actually got a chance to approve it. We approved it, but this stuff now is under $5,000. But the first thing we approved that was spent was over the $5,000. But we approved it, but it was definitely over that amount.
Right. I believe those were a combination of invoices. I don't recall seeing one invoice for $6,900. if I recall correctly, it was multiple ones. I don't have the specifics off the top of my head, but I do believe there were multiple items that were combined.
No. The last meeting, other trustees come. It was the caterer. It was $6,900 exactly.
Alone, I don't remember.
No, you got it wrong, Trustee Steve. It wasn't a lump sum of $6,900. It was 2 or 3 different invoices from party company that approved.
Yeah, probably from one vendor.
Correct.
That one vendor was about $6,900 from that one vendor.
But okay, to answer your question, because I think you're getting off track a little bit with what she's stating, that I did not spend $5,000 at one time. Just like you see invoices here, you might see $1,000 for video footage or $450 for photos, and then it adds up. So I never took over my threshold of $5,000. So that's what she stated, because I haven't added it up. But
it's my understanding, though, it's based on expenditure. It's based upon expenditure.
So as long as you're saying as long as one invoice is not $5,000, then it can be spent without the board approval. I just want clarity, and I would like to know the ordinance number at a later date of what you're reading from.
Okay, I can get you that opinion.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Mayor, if I can be recognized, please.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, a couple of different things. What we're talking about is, of course, a budget. So we have, Chris mentioned some things that in terms of being within budget, the ordinance that, as I understood it, similar to Attorney Raines, was $5,000 and under would not be within board approval. My belief on the intention was that we make sure we don't have large projects that exceeded. So I didn't interpret it as an individual, I interpret it as a collectively, but the big thing is that we all communicate so that way we're on the same page. So it's important for us, of course, that we get the budget so that way we're talking real numbers instead of what we're committing without a budget. And also, but all items from what I've seen, have been under the 5,000 threshold. Collectively, it's over 10,000, and I think that's why it's bringing board conversation. But I just want to make sure that, of course, we are all communicating with each other to make sure that the items are approved across the board.
Okay. You guys all know.
Comment.
Okay, you done?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else as it relates to the warrant list?
There was a couple of other questions, but at this point, I guess I'm a little uncertain about some things. And of course, I know you say call to find out, but a lot of these things may have been stuff that I'm just not aware of. But it's like a lot of janitorial services on here. So I kind of had questions about that. Maybe we do have 4 or 5 different janitorial services, but I guess that would be, I don't know who I would talk to find out, but I do see multiple janitorial services of cleaning for 1 month. So I know it may seem tedious, but at the same time, we all took an oath to be good stewards of the village's finances. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
Okay, so for the record, Board of Trustees, I respect everybody to the utmost here. All I want you guys to do is, if you have all these questions, you guys just saw me. Just met with all of you guys. And if you had questions, concerns, or anything, we could have went over it instead of doing it here, which you guys know, the public said they don't like it this way. So that's why I extended the olive branch and sat and met with everybody. So if you had concerns like you do now, as related to any item on this warrant list, we could have went over it. So I don't want it to be like picking or nitpicking at one another about anything. I will answer any question, but I don't want to spend all this time on certain items when we can move on. Lately, our board meetings have been going really smooth, and I want to continue it that way. My door will still be open. I'll answer any questions. So Trustee Belcher, if you do have another question, let's put it on the floor and move on.
Okay, so just for a comment and for the record, I don't think that you saying that the people said that they don't want to see it. I don't think we're bickering at all. We're asking questions, that's valid questions. And just like things that's being put in front of us, if somebody has a question and you say, yeah, we were together, but we couldn't talk about business. So, I mean, we could be together, and if we can't talk about business, that doesn't suffice. So I don't think that we're bickering at all. So I don't want you to think that just because somebody asked a question or it's not of what you believe, it's a question that I'm just asking. So I'm sorry if you feel that I'm being combative, but I want to know.
Okay, so we work together, and everybody know that. So when we are together, everybody can go 2 on 2, and they can go and talk about village business. We're not just together to hang out. We're there to build a relationship. I'm not saying anyone's bickering per se. I'm saying that we don't have to spend all this time on the warrant list, because we could have got all these questions answered, and we would have had a better understanding before now. That's what I'm stating to the Board of Trustees. So for future references, if we can get an understanding as relates to the warrant list, which I know Janice sends out on Thursday, it has nothing to do with the agenda. The warrant list goes out first, and then you can ask your questions, whether it's to a department head person or myself. And that way you'll get the right answer, and we don't have to go back and forth over, pull this, take this off, because people did do a service and they deserve to get paid for the service that they did. So if we have no more questions, I will move on to the motion.
I just have one thing, Mayor. I apologize. I wasn't present, so that's the reason why I asked my questions this evening. I wasn't present when you guys got together. But moving forward, I will make sure that I review this warrant list, and any questions, I definitely will make sure they are asked before the board meeting.
Okay, and then for you, Trustee, I appreciate if you and I do get together. I reached out to you several times trying to build a bridge with you and I so that we can get on one accord, so we don't have any public display as it relates to agenda items.
Mayor, there's no public display. You asked on a Sunday. I attended service on a Sunday. So that's the reason. I sent you an email back and stated to you I was at church service on Sunday. Right, so that's the reason why I wasn't present.
Right, I know.
Even though it did come in late, but this was the first Sunday that I could attend service. Right. But moving forward, we definitely will make sure that this doesn't happen again during the board meeting.
Okay, so now that you're done, I'm not speaking of the meeting per se. I'm saying that we pick up the phone for everything else. So if any of you guys ever have a comment, concern, or issue, I'm up. I stay up till 1 a.m. You could call my phone and ask me about anything as it relates to village business, is what I'm saying to any of you guys. We don't necessarily meet in person. We could do it over the phone if you guys like. So I'm just saying that publicly once again. So I hope that all of our relationships get better moving forward. So now moving on, there is a motion on the floor.